Hey there, it's Lokazi. Thanks for joining me again. Here we have a game between UG, a the red Protoss on the right hand side of the map here on Metropolis, and myself, who randomed Terran in this game, and I'm blue on the left hand side of the map here on Metropolis. And this is good cross positions for a long game, but my general strategy versus a Protoss player in the 1500 diamond range, which is what I'm at, is to 3 racks Ghost Academy push to control, either to take out their fast expansion and force them into their base so I can then out macro them, or to just win the game right there, depending on how large of an army they have. So that's the strategy I'm going to be showing you today, the 3 racks Ghost Academy push. So starting out very normal here, throwing down the supply depot at 9 as the command center is building more SCVs. Meanwhile, he's thrown down his pylon and he's going across the map to scout. He's going to find me on his second location as he scouts around. My supply depot finishes here. I'm at 90 minerals. So I'm going to throw down my barracks here at 12. And there it goes, going down. Meanwhile, UG throwing up his gateway at 12 as well. So he's not boosting out 2 probes. He may have lost a little bit of time on that, but pretty good econ wise. And of course, not very much really going on right now. He's scouting around. He goes a little bit north. That was a little weird. But he is going to find me in just one moment. He's going to try and harass my SUVs and try and pick one off. Usually they go for the one that's actually building the building, but not always. Microing there a bit to drive his probe off. This a little laggy here today. I don't know why it's being such low frame rate. Give me 1 second on that. Alright, maybe it'll pick up a little bit here. Averaging 25. Okay, that's a little bit better. So, moving on. This probe's still trying to harass my SCVs. That one getting down dangerously though. I only need one more hit to be picked off, but the Marine does drive him out here. Now he's going for a cybernetics core second, so he's not going for any type of 2 gateway, get some zeals to defend the ramp, then to cybernetics core. He's going right for the cybernetics core, which is a good idea versus Terran because it lets you get out a sentry, which he does have enough gas to build right off the bat here to block the ramp to prevent early MMM aggression. Looks like he is going to be going for a stalker here though to deny scouting, so I can't see via running into his base what he has going on. Now, one of the things about this build for a Terran player is I don't really need to know what he's going. It doesn't really matter what he does. This combination is going to either severely cripple or win the game for you almost every time if you can out micro them. AKA, if you can land your EMP on their sentries, you're probably going to beat them. And they're immortals, which is important. If you can land the EMP on the immortals and they are relying on immortals to take out your marauders, aka they went like 2-gate robo or something like that, it's going to win you the game if you can get the EMP on those. Now I'm building the Ghost Academy down here in the south, so if he does run into my base or send an observer over the main part of my base, he doesn't necessarily see the Ghost Academy and he may not see the ghost. Now he's trying to run up this ramp with this probe, but it does get picked off. He doesn't get the scouting information there. I'm researching stim and starting on marauders from my barracks. And versus a Protoss player, really you want a pretty even mix of Marines and Marauders. I mean, Marauders can be pretty much the counter to all of Protoss ground forces, except for Immortals. But sentries can really mess them up. They can really push them into a position you don't want to be in, and they can get picked off really easily because they're so large, and they can get pushed out of range, and that can really not work out well for you. So it's best to just maintain that mix. Also, an important thing to aim for versus a warp gate army when you are Terran, make sure to take out sentries. If you do not land your EMP on all of them, make sure to press Alt, see the amount of energy that they have, and take out any that can throw up a Guardian Shield, because that really reduces the incoming damage from the Marines, as it reduces it by 2, and they only hit for 6, so it's really a 33% reduction. It's pretty severe there. Now I'm training my first Ghost here. It's 6 minutes into the game. I can get this build done a little bit faster sometimes. I think I was a little bit slow in this replay, but overall not too bad, and it's serving its demonstration purposes. So Concussive Shell almost finished, which is going to be really helpful for kiting if he has a lot of Zeals. It'll be very helpful for kiting that, as well as preventing Stalkers from running away from the rest of my forces, and in general microing them back to keep them alive. Ghost finished here. Now you want to leave enough time for your Ghost to build up its energy, because it needs 75 to EMP, and it only starts out with 50, and the research costs for those are kind of expensive. It's like another Ghost for, well, most of another Ghost for the Mobius reactor, and it does take 1 minute and 20 seconds, while the Ghosts themselves only take 40 seconds. Now it looks like I'm going to run my SCV to go try and find out where he is exactly, as I know where he is, but I don't know what he has, so I'm going to go see if he's expanded, what type of army he has. Looks like he's thrown his units into a line. I guess that's to kind of collapse it into a concave based on which direction I come from, which is a good idea. You want to try and get a concave on the forces. The lack of Zeals really, I think, is going to hurt him, as Stalkers just get eaten up by Marauders, and if they don't run from Marines, Marines don't really do too badly with them. Now this SCV runs in, and I am not able to scout whether or not he has an expansion. Oh, I guess I do. I guess I see that he doesn't have an expansion. So I know that he has a decent sized ground force, but will be expanding soon as he has his forces down there instead of on the top of the ramp. Which really works out better for me, because if they're not on the top of the ramp, he can't force field and prevent me from EMPing. The way to counter that, though, of course, is to throw a scan at the top of the hill as you're getting close, and then EMP from, say, here with the Ghost. I go ahead and scan. I see that his army is still out here in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead, he's going to retreat up the hill, kind of get in an interesting position there. I'm going to stim my troops, and then I'm going to throw an EMP into the middle, catching about 6 Stalkers, and picking them off. And I am going to chew through his army with very minimal losses, and I believe he's going to GG. Yeah, there he goes. So in this strategy, the really important thing is to rush out those 3 barracks, 2 with tech labs, 1 with a reactor, pump out Marauders, Marines, get a Ghost, maybe 2, depending on how many sentries they have, how many strong units like Immortals they have, and stim and rip them apart as fast as possible. This was a 3 racks Ghost Academy push from Terran against the Protoss.